Frottage cheese. Oh, hey guys. Just breaking a mental sweat. Oh, hang on. Yeah, just catching up with some of Graham Wheeler's book here. I'm going to brew up an Exmoor Gold. Yeah, so an Exmoor Gold 15-litre batch we're brewing up. Well, I'm brewing up. I'm on my own again. Ed's at the window making funny noises. I'll spare you that whole whole business. Anyway, this is my first 3-vessel brew day. I mean, we brew 3-vessel using Ed's BrewTech system, but this is more of a, I guess, a beginner's approach, and it incorporates the Don, which is this insulated drinks cooler that we've got here, 20 litres, which I bought from a friend for £40, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Obviously adapted it with a ball valve and a quick disconnect fitting, and inside I've fitted a hot bazooka, so I don't have to use a grain net, so I can just put the grain in and mash in nice and easy without having to worry about the net, and also clean it quickly too, which I really like the idea of. Obviously I know that a lot of beginner brewers start out using these systems because they're affordable, easy to use, and also I've seen a lot of advanced brewers who still use these coolers as mash tuns because the insulation properties of these coolers is great to keep the mash on temperature. Malt Miller recently did a video using it was a blue rectangular drinks cooler, but the same principle, and over the hour they only lost a couple of degrees, which is quite impressive. And of course the boys at Tankard Brewing, theirs is Arlas, ours is the Don. Not really sure why we call it the Don, just thought it was appropriate. My fellow homebrewers, I am a great mash tun. People are saying the best mash tun. They swear by theirs, and they've been super helpful with this video with just a few pointers about the strike water and so on. Anyway, so the 3 vessels are, this is going to be the boil kettle at the moment. It's got 20 litres in at 80 degrees, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to preheat the mash tun. We'll call this the mash tun. I'm not going to call it the drinks cooler anymore because I keep getting it wrong. Just call that the mash tun. If it's orange, it's the mash tun. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to preheat the mash tun just to help kick it off. And this one over here, this is at the moment, it's got my strike water and my sparge water in. Later on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our Recirc Halo trademark to obviously sparge through, but I'm also going to use it to, as per the last traditional ale that I brewed, just to keep recirculating it through the grain bed and use the grain bed as a filter to try and produce the clearest wort that I possibly can. I think it's a pretty good idea to fill this with some warm water anyway. A, to make sure it doesn't melt. That'd be a disastrous start to the brew day, but also check there's no leaks, given that we've just added the ball valve and the bazooka inside. And of course, if we're heating it up to 75, 80 degrees, that will just mean that when we add our strike water, it won't take too much of a temperature hit once it hits the cold plastic. It'll be hitting nice and warm plastic, so we can get mashed in straight away. That's the theory. You're about to see the practical. So yeah, I'll just leave that in there for 15 minutes or so, and weigh out the grain in the meantime, and sort my brewing salts out. Here we go. And I'm actually just going to leave this for an hour. I'm not going to do anything. I am going to recirculate with our pump and hoses at the end through our little Recirc Halo. And that's purely just to try and use the grain bed as a filter and try and get that wort running as clear as possible. We're just a shade under 66 at the moment, so I'm going to put in another litre or 2 of hot water just to try and just bump that up more to the 66 mark, and then we'll just leave it. And I think that, you know, if we drop a couple of degrees, 64, you know, we're still making beer, we're still good, still golden.
1 hour later.
Yeah, and that is the mash complete. And I'm pleased to say we only lost 1.3 degrees over the 1 hour, which I think is pretty damn good. What I may do next time is, I couldn't get it up to 66, I got it up to 65.3. Yeah, so we're at 64 now. So yeah, 65.3, so next time, rather than just going 5 degrees above the mash temp on my strike water, I'll probably bump that up to 8 or 9 degrees, and I think there, I'll probably get it about a degree over the mash temp, which means that that should settle down and only just drop, I don't know, 0.3 of a degree below the mash temp, which I think is spot on. So yeah, really super impressed with that so far. Now I've got a cunning plan of what's going to happen next. Stay tuned. Okay, it's time to unleash Project Zeus. The Don now has a sizable appendage, which is going into the boil kettle, which is on the ground. And what we're going to do, we're going to take our first runnings. I've never used that expression. And we're going to run from the mash tun into the boil kettle. And then we're going to recirc. It's coming out the bottom, going into the pump, coming up, and then back into the top of the mash tun via our recirc halo. This is our prototype recirc halo, recirc/sparge halo. But by the time this video goes out, we will have these available for sale on brewshop.co.uk. Nifty bit of kit. Anyway, I'm going to do a manual sparge, and once the level of the mash tun goes down a bit and we've got our nice compacted grain bed, I'll then start sparging as well, and then we'll get the whole lot recircing through that grain bed and clearing, and I'll show you the results. Yeah, I mean, you can see at the moment it's not particularly clear. I'd love to hear how you guys roll with these kind of systems. Like I said, this is the first time I've used one of these sort of more beginner 3-vessel systems. Love to hear some feedback from you about how you've got it set up, and obviously other people viewing this video will check out the comments as well. So be gentle. Okay, that's working nicely. So I'm just going to switch the pump off and just let the sparge water work its way down through the bed, let the bed resettle, and then I'll let it recirc through it for about 15 minutes and show you the result. Okay, I am really happy with how this work is running clear. I mean, that looks to me about as good as it gets. Right, nice rolling boil, and 60 minutes, and going in with Challenger first, followed by East Kent Goldings towards the end of the boil, and then a whirlpool with Styrian Goldings, also known as Salea, with a C. Okay, so that is the end of the boil, and we are going to start whirlpooling now. I just had to MacGyver a whirlpool attachment. Hope you're impressed. One of ours has gone missing. Ed claims it wasn't him. I say different. But I'm pretty pleased with that. Never get in the way of a British man and his ingenuity. You heard of the Concorde? My Uncle Phil had nothing to do with that. But anyway, yeah, so let's get whirlpooling. But this is working really nicely. The reason we're whirlpooling is twofold. One, it's imparting flavour and aroma from the hops and minimal bitterness. And two, by whirlpooling around like that, we should keep the hop debris in the middle. Nice hop cone. What we'll do, because we've got just a ball valve here, we've got no hop bazooka or anything like that, but we've got a side draining ball valve here. So with all the hop cone in the middle, we should be extracting, as long as we don't open the ball valve too quick and create too much suction, so it's pulling the hop cone in. That should work quite nicely as just a trickle into our fermenter. And for this traditional style brew, I've gone back to ye olde fermentation bucket. The reason being, I've been screwed over by the SS Brewtech brew bucket, basically because I kind of took my eye off the ball, but it is a bit irritating, design-wise as well. And I got some suck-back issues, and whilst it wasn't the end of the world, I don't like the idea of any sanitizer in a beer that I drink. So yeah, I'm going to use the bucket and yeah, just with a straightforward airlock, and that will eliminate that issue. We're just waiting for a fresh batch of YE, so the one I'm using is 1335 British Ale 2, which is a good yeast for a malt-forward British style ale, so I'm good with that. Has anyone ever had that with an Inkbird? It suddenly freaks out and starts climbing in temperature. Then you turn it off for a minute, turn it back on, and it drops 10 degrees to the temperature it should be reading. Weird. Sometimes I think it's one of the Wi-Fi ones, and Ed's got control of it, and he's at home just messing with my brew day while he's sat on his sofa playing with himself. What? My God, that was a blooper. Well, I better get mopping. What an absolute idiot. Yeah, it just shows you, even with my experience, basically regarded as many as a professional in the brewing world. People come down here, I say, mate, I'm not professional. And they go, well, you bloody well should be. Keep it up, probably be the best in the world. Looking for 10:45. He shoots. Oh, on the oh, it's just over. Yeah, that's about 10:46. Nice. Yeah, you can see what I mean about the hop cone now, starting to summit. So now it's a case of just tipping the kettle and just trying to get as much of that clearer wort in there as possible and leave all that debris in the middle. Right, that's it. In the fermentation fridge for 10 to 14 days at 19 degrees and aerated. Job's a good one. Yeah, see you at the barreling. Okay, time to do some barreling. Brand new 10-litre pressure barrel, the budget variety. And what I always do when I'm using these for the first time, in fact, to be honest, I do this every time. I apply a little bit of Vaseline just to the gasket in there, and also the one around the tap. I take that off and just give it just a little bit of Vaseline, and that just stops them becoming brittle and becoming unseated when you screw it in, which obviously we don't want because these are notorious for leaking through the tap fitting there. So yeah, watch out for that. If you haven't siphoned before, other than being pleased for you, because I think it's a pain in the arse, it's a good idea to practice with water first. So yeah, practice with water, moving them around from container to container so you don't lose your tempo, which I still do. Yeah, other than that, yeah, so we obviously got the beer. We've had a nice cold crash of 3 days at 2 degrees. We have 20 grams of dextrose in a packet in the sanitizer there, spray bottle. We've got our hydrometer ready to rock and roll. And as always, the end of the tube is right to the bottom of the barrel, so it's always submerged in the beer because you don't want that flailing around and oxygenating what you've got in there. And then I always work right near the top down in the fermenter. I mean, that looks really clear. Hope you guys can see that. See my finger moving there. And this beer is going to sit conditioning for 17 days. We've got a homebrewer evening on the 17th of May. So unless you've got a time machine, you won't be able to go back and attend that, but come to the next one in 3 months' time. Great success. Yeah, so that's going to condition for 17 days exactly because I want to serve it and do the taste test at the homebrew evening, which I thought should be interesting.
The original idea was it's been a really nice day in the Shire today. We were going to be outside with some golden nectar in the glass, and that absolutely went to shit.
Like usual.
Because we've had a homebrew meet tonight, so we had probably, I don't know, how many people do you reckon we had? 50?
Easily 50.
40?
2 or 3?
50, I'd say.
12. Yeah,
12.
There was a lot of
That's the average
18-year-olds
age.
locked up at one point.
18.
Yeah, it's good. I'm pretty happy with the appearance of this, John.
Well,
You're
you
looking on camera, what do you reckon to that? That's nice and gold, isn't it?
Pure gold.
Yep. We'll take that.
Take it. I think that's the nicest thing anyone's said.
We've got a nice bit of gentle carbonation in there. There's been an issue with the barrel. I don't know what exactly has happened. You remember this guy?
What do you mean?
I don't exactly know what's happened, but the barrel A has been leaking from the tap, and I've had to tighten it 2 or 3 times. No idea what's going on there. And also, the bottom of it is domed, but it's blown it out, so it sort of just wobbles now like that.
It's got distended bottom.
I think it's obviously it's from a bad batch. So yeah.
Not good.
Anyway.
Colour's good though.
Happy with the colour?
Carbonation is also pretty good for a cask.
Yours has been
style
obviously
beer.
sat out for a while, but your
Yeah, how
nice
long's yours been
foamy
sat
head's
out
gone.
for?
3 hours.
Look at that, that looks beautiful.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy with that?
But mouthfeel's good.
No, hold on, you've got to fill
Lovely
it up
cast.
so it's
Nice gentle
Yeah.
carbonation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Just give it a little bit of life.
Even when the head's
Oh,
full,
look
I
at
think
that.
it's a really
Yeah.
nice carbonation for a cast style beer.
Cheers, show that to the camera. They're going to love that.
Calm yourself. Calm.
Classic.
Right.
So anyway, we're happy with the appearance. Can we finally put that one to bed?
Yes.
Appearance is spot
great.
on.
Yeah, happy with
Lovely
that?
colour.
Yeah.
Lovely colour.
What do you think of the clarity? It's a tiny little bit of cloud, but it's not bad. Is
Yeah,
it?
but I like that.
Yours looks great.
Yeah, doesn't it?
And that's the thing. Exmoor
Form
Gold is
core.
not necessarily golden. It's more like amber gold, I'd say. Which is a good colour, good taste.
Do you by any chance do any bottling of Exmoor Gold?
Personally, no.
The company you work for.
Maybe.
See, here at Brew Bros, we bring in the professionals. And Craig. What do you think of the taste? You said that you think it might be
I personally think it's a bit more bitter than I would expect from an English ale.
taken up with Graham Wheeler, not me.
What, did he personally brew this?
Yeah.
No, but it's his recipe.
So,
It's. I think it's very good.
I think it's very good.
There's a nice
It's,
little citrusy kind of aroma I like.
It's good. It's just a bit more bitter than you find.
Not really.
For an English ale, no?
No, I think it's about 45 IBE.
Have you measured that?
No, not in the lab.
Yeah, I think Graham Wheeler needs to dial down the bitterness a little bit.
Do you? Okay, so you're obviously piggybacking on Craig. Anybody else have anything original to say?
I think it's pretty good, to be fair.
No, I think
I think
it's
these two are wrong.
Do you work here by then, Sean?
Yeah, I do. I'm not on the clock face, so.
I think it's great. I think it's really good. I really do. I think the clarity, yeah. It looks exactly how you like
The
it.
balance for a
The
beer
colour's
is good.
lovely.
Yours is great. Show that to the camera. That's clear as
Let's look at the head on that as well.
Show
The head on
Yeah.
that.
This reminds me of being with Dad when we were younger and I was drinking shandies and we
Yeah, I
go around
can't
and
really
swept
pass
past
so
them.
much. So
Never good days.
Excuse me,
Never good
my
days.
It's a good beer though, overall, like the sweetness of the malt versus the bitterness of the hop, really good.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
It's a good beer.
So we're happy with it. I'm also happy with the clarity. I think that's great. So we can put this one to bed. This is a good recipe. Brew yourself a classic British golden ale. Thanks for watching. From my learned colleagues. Many thanks. We'll see you guys on the dark side of the moon.
Cheers.
I don't know. That's going on the oven. I stopped watching the Oyster Boys when they mentioned the moon.